Hey, Vendors United. It is Matt from Heisenberg Hot Dogs in West New York Food Carts and Catering, and this is video number 10. It's the final video, guys. I apologize that I took a week off and wasn't a whole lot to show, basically. So it's been 2 weeks since my last video, and it's the final one. The outside of the trailer is done. So now it's time to move on to the inside, and there's been plenty of videos on the inside, so I figured we don't need to show you guys how I'm doing that. But let's get that footage going, huh? I should say up front that there is still a little bit of minor touch-up paint and little bits here and there left to do, but 99.9% done. So where did we leave off? So the last time, at the end of the last video, we had just started the Poor Man's Fiberglass, and so that's where we're starting. We basically wrapped all that up. I was attaching the canvas. I had to glue it down to the wood. Here's a shot of the roof. Got all that done. Once the wood glue dried, it was time to start painting. So we went with a very bright yellow for the field, red for a bunch of the trim, a little bit of black, and for some pieces here and there. And then the roof I painted all white, trying to reflect as much of the heat out in the summer as possible. It took about 3 or 4 coats of paint, and then I would take a day basically in between each coat to let everything dry. I wanted to make sure that it was very, very dry. I also sanded between a couple of the coats to try and get the finish as smooth as possible. So next up was installing the windows and the doors. I used butyl tape, which is like a putty kind of thing, around all the edges to seal them, and then completely screwed them all down. Nice and easy. And then last but not least was onto the electrical. As you may recall, I was freaking out quite a bit about this. It turned out that it wasn't really all that hard, but it did take a long time. It took almost 4 days to get all my electrical correct and the grounds right and everything working the way it was supposed to work. All right, so there it is. I guess first off, what did I learn the last couple of weeks? Well, PMF, while much easier than maybe using metal or something else, is still pretty tricky. All those ins and outs that are making my trailer somewhat unique also made it really hard to do the PMF. So that was good. It was also really tough. I did 2 of the walls with my family, and then the other 2 walls and the roof I did by myself. And that was a little bit harder than I had expected. Um, the last couple of weeks, uh, between finishing the PMF, painting, wiring, I finished most of the stainless inside around the steam tables. It was almost 40 hours of work those 2 weeks. All in total, I'm around 130 to 140 hours total, working on the project, getting the entire outside done and the interior wall finishes. Um, yeah, of course. Now that means I got to get the rest of the inside done. Next up will be the sinks, tanks, hot water heater, and then it's on to the ovens, the steam tables, and the grill. And once that's all in, I'll figure out where my shelving needs to go, and then it's the low voltage power for lighting, the fans, and the fridges, and then last but not least is the black iron pipe for the propane. Actually, last but not least, I'm sure I'll find 100 little things to wrap up, but I also have to caulk where the FRP intersects the walls and the ceiling, as well as into the stainless. I need to caulk all of that, and I'm guessing that's going to take hours because there's a lot of seams. And I'm still hoping to have all that done in the next few weeks. I don't have anything lined up. Unfortunately, most of my events, it looks like this summer, all my concerts are going to be canceled. But that just means I can find other stuff to do. So I'm hoping to have everything done in the next 3 weeks, and then we can get started on the vending. And that's it. It's done. I'm done. All in all, it pretty much turned out like I had hoped. It's unique. It's colorful. I think it'll stand out when I'm in a row of vendors. So that's really good. Um, yeah. So quite happy on all those counts. Thanks again for watching all the videos, for taking the time to comment. I hope you found some part of this helpful and maybe even a little bit inspiring. It really wasn't nearly as hard as I think people make it out to be. It didn't take a lot of fancy tools. Everything was from Home Depot, and a lot of research online on RV websites and on YouTube videos gave me basically all the information I needed to do it all. I will say it did take a little bit longer to get done than I had thought. 11 weeks versus I was originally shooting for I think it would have been 9. But I did save probably about 50% or more over what it would have cost to have someone else build it out to this point. And more importantly than that, though, it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. I had a lot of fun making these videos and talking to you guys about it and answering a lot of questions. So that part was 100% worth it. Thanks as always for all the helpful hints and suggestions. You guys definitely kept me motivated. Knowing I had to do a video every week definitely pushed me to keep going. I think it was 72 days that I worked, I literally only took one day off. So I was pretty happy with that. Thanks again for all your help. That's it from here, guys. Western New York Food Carts and Catering. You can find us online at wnyfoodcarts.com and, of course, on Facebook. Thanks again, Vendors United, and get out there and get slinging.